Hello. Let me know who's here. How is everybody? Howdy, y'all. Sorry, my nose is running. Got allergies. Whoops. Little crooked. How is everybody on this lovely Thursday? We'll wait a couple minutes and let more people get on. Let me know you're here. Who's here? Oh, you can't see that. Everybody's doing good? Oh, I'm doing all right. Be glad that this week is over. Even though it was a short week, it seems like the longest week of the year. So we'll give it a minute and we'll get started. We're going to just do the binding for the paper bag album. So you need some paper bags. So do you have your paper bags? And I'm using my crocodile. What is this? The Big Bite? Is that what they call it? The Big Bite crocodile? And then the ribbon that I'm going to use to do the binding is just seam binding. And I have a needle here. And really, that's all that you need. Scissors, of course, to cut my ribbon. The putting up together of this base for the paper bag binder is super easy, and then you can decorate it with any paper. The Michigan paper makes a great Michigan album for those trips that you're going to be able to be taking up north now. And graduation things, you can put little notes on the tags that you can pull in and out, birthdays, all kinds of things. So these bags are the ones from Scrappy Chic that they've got 5 for $1, and they're 13.5 by 6.5. So these are about 13.5 by 6.5. And then obviously folded in half, it's going to be 6 3/4. So you'll end up with this size. Okay, so let's get started. Are you ready? And I can go over the way that I put the bags together a couple of times. So I've got 3 bags. You can do this with 2 bags or 6 bags, whatever you would like. And what I did was I alternated the bottoms of the bags. So you put them like this. So bottom, 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 right? So we've got 2 on the right and 1 on the left. Okay. And then you just stack them. And fold them very precisely in half, because I do everything very precisely, as you know. All right, so obviously you can decide which way you want your cover, because you can see the opening of the bag here is where it's kind of like your pocket where you'll put your tag. So if you want to start with a pocket, that'll be your front and end with your flap, and I'll show you how to do that. Or you can start with the flap and end with a pocket. Doesn't really matter. I like to start with the pocket. All right, so there we are. All right, now where you folded it, you can certainly measure and mark your holes if you would like. You need 3 for the binding that I did, this pamphlet stitch. You can do 5 if you do a bigger bag, but I use 3, and I don't measure. So I am just going to, and I've got my Big Bite on the smaller punch. All right. So I just fit it in here, kind of eyeball it for the center. That looks good. So you see, I put a hole in my version of the middle. And then you want to put a hole in the middle over here and in the middle over here. So the middle between the hole in the end and the hole in the end over here. I can already tell they're not even, but I don't care. Okay, so then we will put one there and one there. So this is what your hole placement will look like. Just 3 holes. Okay. This is so easy, we're just going to be done in a second. All right. So now you'll take your piece of seam binding, and you know the size of the piece of the binding that you'll need is going to depend on how much of a tassel you want. All right, is everybody following along so far? Let me know if I need to repeat anything. Make some comments, tell me something. All right, we're good? Okay, so you can start on the outside, and that way that your tie will be on the outside. You can, you know, make a bow, or you can do whatever. Or if you start on the inside, just remember that then your knot is on the inside, and then your book might not close all the way, depending on how big you make your knot. I typically start from the outside. So you'll start in the middle hole and put your needle all the way through, and then remember, leave a tail. And of course enough to stitch with, okay? All right, so I'm going to leave about that much of a tail. All right, so I've come through. So then usually what I do is I kind of hold it as I'm doing the rest. So then you want to go to the next hole at the top and go down through this way, right? So you come out the back, and then you'll go all the way across to the other hole at the end and go up through there so that you have, this is what you've got. So this is stretching across all the holes, and this is where you started, okay? And that's the outside. And then what you do is you're going to come back through this hole. But when you come back through, you want to come back through on the opposite side of where your tail is. So you've got this tail, so on the left. So you want to come through with your stitch on the right, like this. So this is what you've got left. All right. And you can pull it as tight as you want it to be. See, you've got your 2 pieces in here. So pull it tight, as tight as you would like it to be. And then all you do is tie a knot, tie a bow, pull that tight. I'm just going to put a little bow here in case I need to do this again. All right. And it is really as easy as that. Everybody got it? Now that you've got your binding, I'll show you the trick on the little flap pages, which is super easy. So see, you've got, put this on. And you can arrange your bow however you would like, however big. You can double knot it. You don't even have to do a bow, you can just do a knot. You can use any ribbon. You can use bookbinding thread. You can use twine. Depending on what you use, though, make sure you size your hole the right way, because if you're just using a baker's twine, you will just need to use a smaller hole. Otherwise, the hole is too big for the twine. And you can go more than once, or you can double up, or double up your twine if you'd like to do that. Then you have more little ends, and you can tie, beads or things on it so that you have little dangly tassels on there. So there's a lot of things that you can do. All right, so you have your book, and if you have a bone folder, you can use your bone folder on your fold. It doesn't really matter. You're going to open and close it a lot when you're putting the paper in, so the fold gets softer and easier, and it will lay flat because the paper will make the paper bag heavier when you put your paper on it. So you have your first page here is a pocket that you could put a tag in, and then you've got the bottom of the bag here. All I did was took this bottom of the bag, the flat bottom, and pulled it to the end and just creased it right here so that I had this flap. And then, and you know, it was silly of me, I didn't bring home the finished one, it's at the store. But then you have these flaps that you can do different things with. You can put different papers on here, you can do some journaling on here. If you were making maybe a graduation album with this, you could write some notes and put, you know, that are appropriate to the picture that's here. So you have a flap like this, and I just put, matted all the paper that I put, so I put a solid piece down and then the patterned piece on top of it. But then you could, if you wanted to write on it, then you could put a white piece of paper on, you know, on top again, so you have another layer that if you wanted to do some journaling, or you can add a photo. I mean, really, the sky's the limit, right? So that's all I did. I just folded that on all of these, pulled them up like this. Mary Edith, I will show the binding again. I didn't tie a knot, so I will absolutely show it again. So these, I just went through and folded all these so that when you decorate them with your pattern paper, they're all ready, creased and folded. And of course, you don't have to fold them either. You can leave them flat, and then you can just put your pattern paper over the top of it and have the full page. But I just thought it broke it up nicely so that you have, you know, a full page over here, a smaller page here with some flaps that you could do some interesting things with. Make lists or notes or whatever. Okay. All right, so that really is the base of the paper bag album. Like I said, I used 3 bags, but you could use 2 or 4 or 6 or 10, or, I mean, honestly, you could use however many that you wanted to use for however many pages you needed, and whatever size. So if you used just the paper lunch bags, they're a little bit smaller, and they come in colors too. I've seen them in white and blue and red. They don't have to just be craft, whatever. I mean, I think at the paper bag store, you can get any color that you want. So, all right, I will go over the binding again. I'm going to take this out because, like I said, I did not tie a knot. Huh, I might have tied this too tight. Hold on a second. I'm used to pulling it tight, right? So I might have pulled it a little too tight. All right. We'll just cut this off because I don't have time for worrying about that. I really didn't tie a knot, but can you see? Oh, look, now it's going to loosen up. Of course. Okay. So, all right. So we've put our paper bags the way that we wanted them. We punched holes, one in the center, and then one in the center of the hole and the end of the bag, right? And like I explained before, if you start from the inside and go this way, that's where your knot or your tie or your bow is going to be. It'll be on the inside. If you start on the outside, that's where it will be. And that's typically where I start. Yes, Susan, I'll save it and post it on the Facebook page, and we'll probably also have it on the YouTube channel. Okay? So I'll just kind of start from the beginning. So you're gonna place your bags. I alternated them. 3 bags like this, alternated them, folded them in half, right? Just folded them in half. And then I punched holes. Now, like I mentioned, you can measure. You can measure for the exact center, and then you can measure for the exact center again. I am not a measurer, typically. It's a very rare occasion that I measure anything. So, again, if you start going this way, that's where your tie is going to be, and if you start from the back, that's where yours is going to be. I typically start from the outside because that's where I want mine to be. It's a decorative element on your album. All right, so come up through the back, leave yourself a tail, right, so that you can tie a bow or a knot, and then you're going to go up to the next hole, up here, and go down, through, and out the back, right? So here you are. This is the outside. You've got your tail here. Now you're going to come all the way up to this, the third hole. You're going to skip the middle and come to this one, and you're going to go through to the center. Oops. Pull too tight. All right, so now you're on the inside again. And then you will come through this center hole again, but when you do, when you come out the back, make sure that you come up on the opposite side, sorry, hold on 1 second, of where your tail is, okay? So, here's your tail, here's the center, and here I am coming up on the opposite side. Okay, pull it tight. Don't pull it too tight that you rip the bags where your holes are. And then just gonna tie it off. And like I did before, I won't pull it very tight, but when you're doing this and you're finishing it, pull it tight to make sure that your binding stays. And then you can either do a knot or a bow. All right, make sense? Any questions, anybody? Do you want me to run through it again? This was a quick one. It's pretty easy. Because then, you know, now your base is ready and you can just start cutting paper and decorating, which is the fun part. Decorating. There's so many things that you can do. You've got your pockets that you can put, I don't know, anything in. Tags or notes or photos, whatever you would like. When I made it, I custom made the tags to fit, and then I did the holes and tied ribbons on them so that there were another decorative element that hung out too. All right, Michelle is asking for the ribbon part one more time. I swear, if I did this too tight again, I'm gonna be mad at myself. You guys heard me. I said I wasn't pulling it tight, right? Okay. There we go. All right. And then the other, I'll remind you again, because I don't think I said it the second time. Just remember when you're deciding what you want to be the front, that you could do a pocket first, or you can do the page with the flap first, whatever your preference is. And depending on how many bags you use, whether it's an even or odd number, you might have both at the front and the back. Just depending on how you arrange your pages. Like I said, I alternated them. So I would have those elements in different places throughout. Okay, so one last time for the binding. Ready? Any ribbon, baker's twine, bookbinding, thread that's waxed, whatever you've got, you know, string, yarn, whatever will work for this. You can double it up, triple it up, you know, whatever you prefer. All right, so I like to come up through the back so that I have my knot or my tie on the outside. So we'll come up through the center. We're going to leave a tail like this. Things are falling, ladies. Things are falling. Okay. And then on the inside now, we're going to go up through the top hole, or sorry, go down through the top hole to the outside. Okay. Then I flip it over. So this is the outside. Then come all the way up to this hole here. Skip the middle, come up to this one, and go through and back down and out this way. Okay. And then you're going to come back through the center. But remember, when you come through the center, you want to come up on the other side of your ribbon or your twine or your whatever you're using, so that you've got your pieces on either side. Pull it tight, not too tight. You don't want to rip the pages or the holes. And then tie a knot, a bow, whatever you prefer. And there you have it. So you can knot it off, you can tie it off. If you doubled up the ribbon, then you would have 4 tails for your pages. So, you know, there's no real dimensions or sizing that I can give you. But this is just your basic pamphlet stitch with 3 holes in your binding, and you can space them out however you like. So if you wanted your one in the center, and then you wanted these to be way out here, it doesn't have to be in the center from the hole to the end. You could take your hole out a little farther if you felt like you needed it to be more attached at the end here. So you can make that whatever size you want. This one should start in the center, but this one doesn't have to be in the center of these. And mine's not in the center anyway because I didn't measure it very well, or at all. Alrighty, any questions? This was a quick one today, wasn't it? Alright, you got me for a couple minutes if you want to ask questions. Who's floating sad faces? It's just a probably needlepoint needle that's got a large open, you know, a large thing to thread through. So here, you can see that is it. I have these plastic needles, and if this thing wasn't so big and it would fit through the hole and not stretch it out, I would use that. So just, you know, any kind of needle that has a large eye, I guess, right? That's the eye of the needle. So whatever you can get your twine or string or ribbon through. And you don't need a point, right? Because you're you're pre-punching your holes. You did 2 already, Susan? I can't wait to see them when they're done. Michelle, yes, you can see a finished one. It's posted on the Scrappy Chic Facebook page in the Michigan Project album. I forgot to bring it home to show you, but there is a finished one. I showed it on the Saturday Live, so if you look back at the replay, you can see it there also. So there is a finished one. I think there's 2 or 3 photos in the Michigan album. Yes, Brenda, I'm gonna put the replay up so that you can watch it again. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, any other questions? It makes a huge difference, doesn't it, Susan, if you're prepared? I know, I had to run down here and hurry up and find my bags so I can show you guys what to do. I was not very prepared. But, okay, so next week, the demo is going to be on the other card that I showed. Here's all the pieces for it. It was that, the one that folds in triangular. So I'm going to do the demo on how to put that together next week. And then that will be the live demo on Wednesday. And then the project for Saturday is going to be a home decor piece. So it'll be exciting to share that with you guys on Saturday. And then the following week, I will certainly do a demo on that if anybody is interested in seeing it. When you are making these and you're decorating them, please share them on the Scrappy Chic page so I can see them. I'm so excited to see all the stuff that you guys are creating. It's awesome. I love to see it. Everybody does great work, and you know, there's such different versions. It's so fun to see all of them. All right, guys. So thank you so much for joining me. Did anybody go to the store today on our first day open? Did anybody stop in and get their shopping fix on? Get all that awesome stuff that you needed? You did, Beth? Yeah. I'm sure you guys bought awesome things. All right, guys. So, thank you so much for joining me. You picked it up yesterday, Michelle? Well, today's the first day that they're open, and it'll be going on and on, so I'm sure we'll be seeing ya. Hey, Mary. Thank you for spending some time with me, and if you need to see it again, check out the replay. It'll be up on the page, and then I'm sure Renee will put it on the YouTube channel as well. And for all of you people who are in our Scrappy Chic virtual world, I'll be seeing you tomorrow at 6 for our sale. If you would like to be in the Scrappy Chic virtual world, search it on Facebook and ask to join the group. You'll need to give me your email address and phone number for invoicing, but we will be having some great deals. And I'll be making an announcement a little bit later about what we're going to be doing for tomorrow. It's going to be just a little tiny bit different, but there are going to be some smoking deals, some discounts that you've never seen from Scrappy Chic before, I think. Pretty deep discounts on some things. Alright, guys, so see ya. Thank you.